guys? How's everyone on this Tuesday? Is it Tuesday? Like I'm so lost. Whatever night it is. Listen, I am just so excited to be here with you guys. It's the Ella Johnson Show. I know this is not a regular night or anything, but I am traveling to Alabama for the funeral. So I thought I would come on because I just wanted to say hi to you guys and just kind of check in. This is going to become a regular thing. Like you guys are going to start being with me. I mean, like I am going to start having these shows and I do have some guests lined up, but tonight you guys get me unless there's someone who wants to be invited to be on the broadcast. But listen, I'm just so excited to be here tonight because, with everything that's going on around us, guys, this is a time to be grateful. This is a time for all of us to just take a step back and realize that, God didn't bring us this far to leave us. How many people out there know that 2020 was a year that we probably won't forget? It was a pretty rough year. I will admit that. But, tonight I wanted to do something. This is something that was just on my heart to do. And I wanted to do like a special broadcast just to motivate you guys. And I want to use a story, but I want to say thank you. I've been noticing that a lot of people from Georgia have been posting, they're, letting us know that they have voted in this election. This is a very, very important election. Now, for those of you that are following this broadcast or you've been hearing about the Georgia election and you're just quite not sure what it all means, well, here's what it means. There's a runoff. There's two runoff elections. And what happens is when there are two people running and neither one of them actually get the majority of the vote, they have to have a runoff election. And in two of the elections in Georgia, that happened. Now, the reason this is so important is because those two elections, if the Democrats win both of those elections, we'll be tied. We'll be tied. It will be 50-50 as far as Republicans, Democrats, and in the Senate. We're fighting for the Senate. Of course, the Democrats control the House, but we want to control the House and the Senate. The Democrats do. So how that can happen is if both of these Democrats win their elections, then Kamala Harris will get to place the deciding vote. And of course, she's going to, we know what side she's going to go. She's going to go Democrat. So that means that the Democrats will have the majority of the control for the House and the Senate. Now, I want you to think about that for a minute. Just think about it for a minute and think, that could be pretty good. Listen, because this is where it's really important, guys, that we get the right judges in there, that we get the right House and Senate members controlling, because they get the deciding vote for a lot of things that Biden is going to want to pass with Congress. So this election is important. So if you are watching this broadcast and you are in Georgia, okay, thank you for those of you who have voted. Thank you to those who know they're going to vote. They just haven't quite made it there. Thank you to those who've already voted, whether you did it by, absentee ballot, whatever the case may be. Thank you. Thank you for being a part of this process because we need your vote. So I just want to, and those of you that are on the fence and you're like, listen, have we not learned a lesson about doing that or thinking that way? No, we're not going to do that. Not anymore. So if you have not voted, make your way to your precinct to vote because this is a very, very important election. Okay. So just get to the polls. And we just want to thank you guys, all of you who have, those of you who are on your way, that you're going to do it. Thank you. Very important. Very important. But I want to, talk to you guys a little bit about what's going on because it's like, there's so much drama going on right now with the Congress, with President Trump, who is soon to be out of the White House. Don't act like you're not happy about that. I can't control myself. I am excited about that. I mean, who isn't? Who is not excited that this man is almost out of the White House? It's just been so much. I know. Listen. I'm one of those kind of people. I watch all of the conferences. I try to hit all the articles, and it's just been so much. I don't just watch, CNN. I watch Fox, I watch CNN, I watch MSNBC, I watch all of the news because I want to see what everyone is saying about what's going on. You want to get two sides to every story. It's on my banner right behind me. I believe in reporting it, but I also like to hear it as well. So it's just been so much, and I think it's almost like I can feel America saying, right? Didn't it feel that way to, when the electors finally voted and said, we elect Joe Biden, he is president-elect, and they're still saying there's still more to go. And I'm like, oh, I mean, he's, it is what it is. But listen, that should teach us a lesson. We should now realize how important elections are, how important it is to make sure that we're getting the right senators sent to Congress and representatives sent to Congress. You know why? Because all of them have something to do with making sure we have the right judges. So if you commit some type of federal crime and it ends up at the Supreme Court, and in these courts, then you want to make sure you got people that care about your issues there. I'm just saying. So I think that we have all learned a lot about politics. I know I have. I have never in my life watched so much CNN, ever in my life. But this is something that you wanted to be a part of. But guys, I'm not going to stay with you guys long tonight. I just wanted to encourage you because, I know I did a little encouragement thing this morning. And I talked about, what did I talk about? Who knows? What did I talk about? Sorry, I'm getting, what did I talk about? I talked about how you should not allow people to, mess you up when you want to go for something. Like, we're sitting around here and we feel unworthy just because people don't pat us on the back, or you don't have 500 people following you, or 500 people watching you when you do videos, or 500 people liking your post and stuff. And you tend to get discouraged because you think nobody's watching. Listen, let me just be straight up 100 with you. A lot of times you have more people watching and paying attention than what you see in the screen there, or the likes or anything like that. People just, for some reason, they're just not going to support, and it's okay. And that's what my motivation this morning was about, was some will, some won't, so what? Don't let it stop you. If you're waiting on that, you got to get tough skin. I think one of the lessons that's hard to learn when you're trying to go up and do something and make something of yourself, I think one of the toughest lessons is learning how to lose. But I think it is just as important, because winning is so much sweeter when you come off of a loss, and sometimes your loss is a gain. I know that one slipped right by you. Let me say it again. Sometimes your loss is a gain. Sometimes God is taking things away from you that don't need to be there. Okay. It's just like, I think I did this motivational message one time about the puzzle, and how the puzzle already comes with all the pieces that it needs. And that's kind of how you are. You already come with the pieces that's needed to fix you and make you the person that God called you to be. But sometimes we want to try to slip another piece in there because it looks good. Hello, somebody. Smells good. Might even taste good. I'm just saying. And we try to slip it in, but it doesn't fit. And then you wonder why your picture doesn't look like the picture God put on the top of the puzzle. It's not going to look like that. You can't just put whatever pieces you want. If it doesn't fit, don't force it. Y'all remember that song, right? If it don't fit, don't force it. Just relax and let it go. But that's not my motivational message. That is not it. That one just kind of had to slip in because, I was trying to make a point. But I do want to do that because this is Real Talk TV. This is the Ella Johnson Show. And my show, yes, it's about edgy subjects. We're going to talk about water. We're going to have water cooler conversations. You know what that those are? Those are conversations that you have at the water cooler that you might not have in the boardroom. But we're going to have water cooler conversations here on the Ella Johnson Show. There's a lot of guests coming. In fact, I just booked it. Now, for those of you that know my nephew, y'all remember, to me, he was new. To a lot of you guys, he might be too speed, whatever it was that you had named for him. But my nephew, of course, you know that he died, several years back. Well, his son, J-Man, y'all know J-Man because he's always on Facebook. But J-Man is going to be right here on the Ella Johnson Show. And he's going to share his story about his dad and what happened that horrible, horrible day when we all got the news that he was no longer with us. And he's going to share what all of that meant to him right here on the Ella Johnson Show. Let's stay tuned for that because of course, I'll send a post and let you know. But you want to hear this because there's nobody that can tell it like J-Man. But that's going to be coming up next week here on the Ella Johnson Show. I have a lot of my You Just Don't Know people that I'm booking for interviews that are going to be right here on the show. And you're going to get to hear some real life stories, guys. Listen, what does the sign say? Real Talk TV, right? Well, you're going to get that right here on the Ella Johnson Show because we're going to talk about real stories. I think that's so important. I think it's so important to talk real stuff because y'all seem to think sometimes that you're the only one that's going through something, and that's not the case. That's not the case. You're not the only one. So many people are going through things. We just have to hang tough. Well, listen, guys, I'm going to take a break just for a second. And when I come back, I'm going to give you my mahogany motivational moment of the night. You don't want to miss this. So if you need some encouragement and you know some people that need some encouragement, go and get them. Go ahead and get your wine, get your glass of water, glass of milk, glass of tea, whatever it is that you need to drink. But go get it. And we'll be right back for my mahogany motivational moment of the night. We'll be right back. Okay, I am back. If you are just tuning in to the broadcast tonight, I am here and I just had a special live tonight because, I will be traveling to Alabama for my cousin's funeral. Tasha, the funeral is Friday. For those of you that may not have known that, but it is Friday. And I will be there because, that's my family and I need to support. And, we want to celebrate her life. She had a beautiful life. She has beautiful kids. She has so many people that love her. So we want to give her a wonderful, beautiful homegoing. And listen, I want to thank those of you who have sent your condolences and you have sent your words of sympathy and your encouragement to the family. Please don't stop. They still need it. We all still need it. She's a beautiful, beautiful person and we're going to miss her. So that's Friday. So for those of you that I have talked to, I'll see you when I get there. But I wanted to do something special tonight because I know for a fact that we are all going through stuff. I mean, a lot of people may not like to, they don't put it on Facebook, but secretly people are going through things and you just never know. And I don't want to take for granted that everybody just knows that God loves them and that everything is wonderful and that they can just be encouraged. No, everyone doesn't know that. Everyone doesn't just accept that and become that and just know it automatically. So that's what these types of shows are for, to remind you. But I just like to do it with stories because I think that it's easier to remember it like that, right? So tonight I want to talk about the donkey. Yeah, I want to talk about the donkey because this story is something that I think that a lot of people need to understand and get this. And the reason I think that a lot of people don't get this is because I watch Facebook. And I see a lot of what you guys talk about. I see a lot about what we complain about. I see a lot about what we stress over. And that's why I know we don't get it. We don't really know our value. We allow, because listen, let me tell you something. I always say this. If you don't know who you are, people tell you. Now, do you want to go around here living and believing that you are who someone else? Or do you want to know who you are and whose you are? Because you will never be able to accept who you are if you have not learned whose you are, because that's kind of part of it. That's where we get all this strength from. That's where we get all of this confidence, because of whose we are, right? Sometimes people get it mixed up. We get confident because we of who we think we are. No, it is because of whose you are that you are who you are. I'm just saying. But listen, all right, the donkey. Let's get back to the donkey, because I know you guys want to get off and go watch television and do what you got to do. Me, I have an essay that I have to write. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. Guess what I'm writing it on, guys? The birth of a nation. Ooh. As a matter of fact, when my instructor was like, "Yeah, Ella, that's one of the things you can, you get to choose which one you want," and Birth of a Nation was one of the options. And you know me, just like I was back in the day, I'm like, "Teacher, question, which version?" And she's like, "Excuse me?" That's just Ella being Ella. I mean, there were two versions. You got the old black and white version from back in the day with the, KKK running around on these fake horses and stuff. Or you have the Birth of a Nation that was recently, that, what's his name? I can't think of his name. Oh, whatever his name is, y'all know, the guy from Pride. Well, anyway, the one that he produced. And that particular one, I was like, can I, and she's like, "No, Ella, you stick to the one that I gave you." I'm like, okay, I'm just asking. Still stick try it. But you know me, one thing about me, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not going to say what I think people want to hear. It is a reflection paper. It's my final paper for this class. And it's a reflection paper, and I need to reflect on what I think about the Birth of a Nation, the original version. I'm sure I'll make an A, but y'all pray for me. But anyway, let's get back to the donkey so y'all can go to bed. All right, listen. There was a farmer that had this donkey, and they were out doing what they normally do, walking along. Donkey was old. And I want you guys, before I go any further, I want you guys to remember now, whenever I do a story, I want you to think about in terms of real life, okay? That way you can follow me. All right, without me having to stop and remind you what I'm talking about. But I want you guys to follow me. This is very important, because I want to do this because you're getting ready to go to bed. And I want you to think about this before you lay your head on your pillow tonight. So they were walking along. The donkey's old. And all of a sudden, the donkey falls in a hole. And it's like, oh, don't we fall into some holes sometimes? The donkey fell in a hole. So the farmer's like, oh my goodness, how am I going to get him out? He goes and looks, and it's way, way deep. Y'all know how y'all have those people, they know you're in trouble, and they kind of look over at you. They might not really intend to help you, but they look over. They type about it. They text about it. They even Facebook about it. Hello, somebody. But nonetheless, in the story, let's get back to the story. So the farmer looks over and he sees the donkey down there, and he's like, oh my gosh, you got to get him out. What am I going to do? So he goes and he's like yelling and asking people, can you guys help me? Can anybody help me? Is there anybody? Can somebody help me? Y'all know how we get so busy. We don't have time for anybody else. Yeah, just like this story. Yeah, I want y'all to think about that. The next time you look over and see somebody in a hole, don't just walk by, and don't take pictures and post it. Really help them. I'm just saying. All right. So he looks over. The donkey's down in the hole. He can't get anybody to help him. He leaves. The farmer's like, well, you know what? I'm out. Now, let me tell you what the farmer thought about as he walked away from helping the donkey, that no doubt probably had to carry him at some point. Hello, somebody. Y'all catch that? See, some of these same people that are down in that hole have had to carry you at some point. And now you want to act like you're all brand new, and now you can't help them now that they're in a hole. I'm just saying. So he sees him down in the hole, can't help. So the donkey's like wondering, did he leave me? Like, what's going on? Why did he? Does he not know that I need help? Does he not know that I'm stuck down in this hole? Does he not know that I've been there for him in so many ways, and now I need him to help me up? And he's just going to leave me? So the donkey cannot understand. But listen, you know what the farmer said about the donkey? He's old anyway. He's about to die anyway. His life is over anyway. Now, I want you guys to stop for a minute and think about this, because there are people that have said those same things about you. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Don't act like y'all know. I know there are people, I can feel it in my spirit. There are people saying, she's sure right now. She's sure right. I know I'm right. I've lived it. I know this. So the donkey is like, okay, nobody's going to help me. They think I'm old. See, I want you guys to think about that part, because the rationale that this farmer played out is exactly what people are doing in your life. There are people walking away from you because they don't feel like you're worth their time. They don't think that you have anything left to give. Because see, that's what the farmer said about the donkey. He doesn't have anything else to give, poor thing. Oh, we've seen his best years. They say that about you, but it's not true. Whose report will you believe? So they leave him there. The donkey realizes, you know what? I'm probably going to die in this hole. They've left me. Nobody cares. Nobody is interested in what I'm going through. They can see. See, it's one thing for people not to know you're in a hole, but it's a whole different ball game. Or that other saying, they say it's a whole different horse of another color. When they see you are in a hole, they see you need help and still walk by. So the farmer's like, well, now this is cold what the farmer does next. But guess what? Some of y'all at this same stage. See, I'm going to help you here. So stay tuned. Keep watching. So the farmer decides, you know what? Well, since his life is over, since there's nothing I can do, I mean, I tried to get some people to help me. Nobody wanted to help. Well, since there's nothing else I can do, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to just throw dirt in the hole. I mean, he's going to die anyway. Let me just go and help him out. Ain't that something? So he went from not helping him, not offering a hand to him, to saying, I'm going to bury you. See, that's exactly what people see. This is why it's so important to make sure you're walking with the right people, because you might be walking right alongside. Some of you might even be sleeping with that person, walking right alongside people that wouldn't have a care in the world if you fell in a hole. They wouldn't. And I don't like to say this, but I'm going to say it because I'm thinking it. And Lord, if I'm wrong, forgive me. But you know how they have this thing that this person said, I wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. You know, some of you guys are hanging out with those kind of people that if you ever gave out a gas, they wouldn't help you push. I'm just saying, know your circle. So anyway, so he starts throwing dirt over in the hole. He's like, he's going to die. He's old. Let me just go ahead and throw. And the donkey's down there like, what? I know he didn't. Now I'm giving my version. You know, the donkey didn't talk, but in my story, the donkey talks. Okay. So the donkey is sitting down there like, what in the world? No, he didn't. He is throwing dirt in the hole. I'm still alive. See, some of you know you're alive and you know you have more to give, but for some reason you've allowed people to change the narrative on your life. Who does that?
You can't allow people to do that. Not when you know who you are. Oh, absolutely not. So he's throwing dirt. And the donkey's down there like, oh my goodness, I'm going to die. But in one moment, I believe this is what happened. This is what I believe happened. Now, this, they don't say this in the story, but this is also a myth. So we can make it up how we want, right? So I believe that in that hole, God spoke to that donkey and he asked him a question. The same question I ask you today. I said, it depends on how bad you want it. Do you want to live? Or do you want to die? Do you want to quit or do you want to keep trying? Are you going to stop just because things get a little rough? Are you going to pack your little bag and go home just because people don't like you? Just because people don't like what you're doing? You're going to quit? This donkey had a decision to make, just like you do. You got a decision to make too. Now, what's it going to be? Are you going to die because you quit? Because you're hurt? But I'll tell you what the donkey did. And I believe God spoke to that donkey. Said, I tell you what, you won't get out of this hole. Now, God isn't country, but the God in my story country. You won't get out of this hole. I tell you what you better do then. Every time they throw dirt over in that hole, I want you to shake it off and pat it. Shake it off and pat it. Well, what's that going to do? Well, I'll tell you what it's doing. Every time that dirt came over in that hole and that donkey he shook it off. And he was using that dirt to build himself up. Hello, somebody. Y'all got some dirt in your life and you got some people trying to bury you. Use it, is my point. Use the dirt to build yourself and get yourself up out. So they kept throwing that dirt in that hole and he kept shaking it off, patting it, shaking it off, patting it. And before you knew it, the donkey had put that they had thrown so much dirt in there, the donkey was able to jump out of the hole. Now, what's the moral to the story? It's not what happens to you that determines how far you go. It's how you handle it. You know, one of the sayings that I like is it's life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you respond to it. See, some of you would have just let them bury you because you would have been waiting on God. I'm just going to be real. No, Sis Johnson. No, Sis Johnson. I'm going to just trust in the Lord, baby. God going to provide. He did. And it was the dirt. Oh, this is so amazing. This is so amazing because you guys seem to think, a lot of people think that sometimes when bad things happen to you, that God is turned away from you. No, he's giving you a key. He's giving you the dirt. But you got to know what to do with it. Just like the donkey. He used it and it worked for him. So when people throw dirt on you, use it so it can work for you. All things work together for good to those who are called for God's purpose. If you have a pulse, you got a purpose. How many people watching this got a pulse? I know that's like a dumb question, right? So you get my point. If you're watching this broadcast, that means that you too have a purpose. So just wanted to give you guys a little motivation before you go to bed tonight. I hope you get it. But listen, I'm going to get out of here. I just wanted to give you guys a little motivation because I know that a lot of people are going through some stuff. You may not put it on Facebook, but I know that for me to come in and do this broadcast tonight on a special evening, that there's some people that needed this. So take this video and share it everywhere because you probably have people sitting right there on your page that need this encouragement as well, including yourself, right? So I just wanted to come in tonight and say hello and pray for a sister as we go down this road to Alabama. Pray for my family as we lay our cousin Tasha Tucker to rest for her homegoing. And we want to celebrate her life. What a beautiful life that she has. I mean, I've never seen anyone with so much joy in my life. She was just the life of the party. and she will sadly, sadly be missed. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the Ella Johnson Show. Thank you for coming in here and get you some motivation and everything. But we're going to go ahead and get out of here because I just wanted to say hello. And now I'm saying goodbye. Have a good night. Thank you for tuning in. I want you guys to tune in to my broadcast every time you see it. Every time you see that I'm going live, tune in, guys. Okay, tune in, support your girl. And if you want to be a guest, if you want to be a guest on the show, all you need to do, send a text message to 407-334-6997. Send a text message and say, Ella, I'd like to be on the show. Now, in a couple of days, I'm going to send out a flyer and it's going to list all the upcoming shows that I have. And if you see a show that you feel like you can be a part of and you'd like to share, hit me up. Hit me up. All right? So we can have a good conversation. But my next show is coming up. I will have guests. Tonight, I didn't have guests. I just wanted to come to you and motivate you guys with the donkey. I hope that's been a blessing to you. I hope that you guys now will look at things and look at life and look at dirt. I'm serious. Things that happen to you, look at it a little differently. All right? If you know who you are, you know whose you are. All right? So I'll see you guys next time right here on the Ella Johnson Show. Have a great evening.